Now it started. Cool. Hello. Done. See, as per the Spring MVC, Spring MVC is one of the module of the Spring. In the Spring, we have many module, right? We haven't talked about. Let me talk about some module of the Spring. Ready? In Spring, we have Spring IO core module. Which module I talked about? Core. Spring core deals with dependency injection, of Spring Bean life cycle management, you know, those kind, inversion of control, everything is part of Spring core. Then Spring JDBC, remember yesterday I had used Spring JDBC, which makes your program easier, right? Spring context, right, which is dealing with the Spring container. Hey, whatever I'm writing over here, you know what all these are the different module of the Spring, right? Let me write many more. Spring Spring Web, Spring MVC. So what I'm going to discuss today, Spring Web and MVC will be used together. Spring ORM, please reply. These are some module of the Spring. Spring has many more module, but I'm just talking this much. UOP. Spring security. People can, do you understand what I'm saying, right? These are the different module we have to learn one by one. Security. So
Hibernate if you learn Spring ORM.
Yeah. Spring ORM is basically hook to integrate your application with Hibernate. Hibernate I will teach you. The Hibernate I will teach you, right? That's in my agenda. Okay. So far what we have done Spring Core. Yeah. We have done Spring JDBC and we have done Spring Context. Spring Core is responsible for managing your bean, resolving dependency, inversion of control, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Spring JDBC, yesterday, remember, yesterday, instead of writing a lot of cumbersome or boilerplate code, we were just using shortcut. Remember, JDBC template and all, data source. Spring context is basically used to create a Spring container where all, you know, Spring related services will be managed. Got it? Today, what I'm going to teach you, man, I'm going to teach you Spring MVC. Spring MVC internally uses web. So I'm going to use this module together, right? So today, whatever application I will develop, what are the different modules I'm going to use? Okay, people. Today I'm going to use core. Of course, without core you cannot do anything, right? Then context, third web, fourth MVC. So how many module I'm going to use in the Spring Web project? 4. Spring Web project will use, you know, all these 4 modules. Nice, clear? Yep. So what is the MVC? MVC is one of the design pattern. You may be confused what design pattern. Design pattern is nothing. It's just solutions of some problems which comes in software development. So as per the MVC, you can divide your application into 3 parts. M stand for model, V stand for view, and C stand for controller. So let's see. Model, in this you can write your business logic. Any guess? Business logic. In view, you can keep your presentation layer. You know presentation layer? Nobody reply.
The front end.
Presentation layer means your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, you know, GSPs, time leaf, velocity. All these are part of JSP. You know HTML, CSS,
Yes.
Bootstrap. All are the part of presentation layer. Clear? And controller. See, controller is a basically mediator between view and model. This controller, we are not supposed to write. Who will provide the controller? Any guess?
Spring
Controller
container.
Yeah, it would be provided by default. Spring will give you a Spring container. Yeah, you can say Spring framework, right? Spring framework MVC module will give you. no need to make the controller, right? And this controller, I would say, and I would not say controller, I would say front controller. So whenever I would say front controller, what you have to understand, I'm talking about controller. Got my point? And the controller which I'm going to use in my web project, that is a servlet. My front controller is what? Servlet, right? Hey, who can tell me what is a servlet? I forget it.
It's a Java file.
This is
It's
very high
actually
level
Java
definition.
It's still a
HTML,
Java
but
file.
Servlet is a
So,
class file which has capability to execute your program, your Java file at server. Let me tell you again. Servlet is not a normal Java file, man. Servlet is a special class file which has capability to execute your Java code on server. Got my point? Again, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Actually, don't try to mug the definition. Understand and then express in your simple words. Again, I'm telling you, what is servlet? Servlet is a special class which allows your Java code to execute on server. Make sense? Can I run my Java code on server? No, you can't. You can't. Let me write it. And you tell me, can I execute on server? Class. My class is Mocha. Eh, in this, I don't know name actually. You tell me this program, can I run on server? Public void show. Can I execute on server? You have to answer me yes or no.
No.
I cannot run on server because this is normal class. No. If you want your Java code should run on server, what you have to do? You have to add feature of servlet in this class, and that you do with the help of inheritance.
To do it.
Clear? Hmm. So what
hold
is
on,
servlet?
can you please repeat that again?
I said your normal class file cannot execute on server. If you want your class file should execute on server, you have to convert into servlet. How you make the servlet? I think my other trainer, right?
Hmm?
They have done. They have taught you servlet or not?
Yes, they have. The part where you were talking about inheritance.
Yeah. If you want to make servlet, what you need to do? You have to do class Ola extends. Remember? He may be
Okay.
teaching you like that. I want Ola should be converted into servlet. Then you have to extend HTTP servlet. Remember?
Okay.
Now Ola class is not a normal class. It is a special class which has feature of servlet. Now you can run Ola on server.
Okay.
How to do it? All those things. I hope it has been covered. Got it? Yep. So front control is a servlet, right? In this servlet, the class name which is offered by Spring MVC framework, name is dispatcher servlet. What servlet? Dispatcher servlet. This servlet you have to write, or it is there, you have to just use it.
you have to use
Just
it.
use it.
You have to use it. So you will be only focusing on business logic and design the front end. So, in this model view controller, you have to just work with model and view. Controller is there, right? And what controller does? Controller provides communication. Let me make another diagram of MVC, model view controller, right? You see in the diagram? Model
Sir,
view.
for
Like here,
I have a
in this
question.
diagram, this is, I'll answer your question, just a second. This is your controller, I would say front controller, clear? Your C, right? And your front controller name is dispatcher servlet. Who gives you this? Spring MVC. And M stand for model, right? Model, you can say action, or this model, right? In Spring MVC terminology, I would say controller. Please don't confuse. When I say controller, you should understand what I'm talking about. Model, right? When I say front controller, I'm talking about controller. Confuse? No. Controller is just name given to the model as per the Spring MVC convention. When I say controller, means I'm talking about the model where you can have business logic, right? And V stand for view. View means presentation logic. You confused? No. In this, you can write your HTML, CSS, HTML5, CSS 3, Bootstrap 4. All right. These are the version. And JavaScript, jQuery. I'll teach you all those things, okay? I like front end. So people, when you make a request from the front end, first of all, it will go to the front controller, and front controller will forward your request to business logic model. And after that model will return the response. It will again go back to the reply. It will go to
Back to the servlet,
Control
front
and then
controller.
back to the
front controller, and eventually through it, it will go to the requested browser. So you got the flow. Request you are triggering from front end. Then it will go to the dispatcher servlet, right? And dispatcher servlet will forward your call to the business logic controller with the help of handler mapper. We'll talk about it. This is the typical flow of the application. You cannot directly go from view to a model. If you are doing it, you are violating Spring MVC design pattern. Clear? So Spring MVC, can I say Spring MVC loosely coupled your presentation layer and business layer. Am I right? First benefit of MVC is it separates. Any guess? Please reply. I said separates. What it
from
does?
view.
Model, view, and
It
controller.
separates. Yeah, it separates view and model, right? That is controller. Clear? So another benefit is if you are very good in the front end, right? You can work in front end. I am very good in back end. I can work in back end. So parallel development is possible or not?
Yes.
Parallel development is parallel development. Third one is easy to manage complex project. Okay, easy to manage complex project. See, your all the requests are going through the common front controller. So easily you can implement common functionality, right? Easily we can implement common functionality like security, logging. I'll tell you what is the meaning of it, right? Everything I will teach you practically. Okay, somebody is asking questions. Please go ahead now. Please.
I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
please.
my answer.
Ah, nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let me see. What's your name?
What was the question though?
Even I don't understand the question, but
No, I
sometimes
was
I don't know
asking
the
it as
question,
in
but I'm able.
what
My question was why it's called front controller. So the controller C, why we call it front controller?
Yeah, reason
so
is because front controller means it is the single controller through which all the requests are routed. That's why it's called front controller. That's clear. Single entry point, right? Front. All the requests will go to this, then it will be routed to the business layer. Got it? So front controller is there, right? You are not going to do anything for it, right? You have to just work for view and that. So what is the agenda for today? Agenda?
Sir, so
I'll
one
make
more question. I'm sorry. So when we write
please.
code in Spring, so we don't have to write anything for front controller. We just write for view and model.
Exactly. This is there already. You have to just configure it.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you, right? Let's do that. Spelling mistake. Dispatcher servlet. Let's do that. Cool. Just a second. Great. What is the agenda? Agenda is I need to make a login page, right? I can make anything, right? Login page, registration page, we have to make end to end. And everybody has to do practice, okay? Yeah. So So in front end, we have to make this, right? Login page. I'm not, you understand what I'm talking about, right? Username, password, and button. So we have to make it. Give me a second. Resume done. Starting sharing again. Okay. I can move it quickly now. So I have to make a MVC, but we have to do from scratch. Okay. I'm not going to use this project. Let me make a new one. It's okay. Everything from scratch. Close.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So how to create a web project with Maven? Last time I explained to you, right? Can I try? Right click, new, other. And here you can type. This is clear to everybody, right? You can use Maven project. After it, I said there is many way to do it. You just check it. Create a simple project. Skip archetype selection. Skip it. Next, here you can give the group ID. Group ID is of your interest? No. Unless and until you deal with multi-module projects, it's not needed. You can give anything. I'm going to just give my company name, Rap3 Tech. Clear? And my project name, what name you want to give? I want to, what do you want to do? Let's do is something movie, right? Fine. So I'm going to say movie, right? MBC app. Project name matters. People. Project name doesn't matter, right? You can keep anything, but when you map to the domain, you can give any name of your choice. So you want to make war or jar? Any guess?
War.
War. And name descriptions are optional. Click on the finish button. Whenever you get confused, let me know. And where's gone? Movies MBC M. It should be here, right? So important thing in this is it is web project. You see, in web project we have certain structure. You remember? Forget it. Normally in web project, what you do, you create a web binder folder. Yes, you know? Yeah. So you make it, right? Are you with me? I did it. Guys, reply. No. And in WebINA, we have a special file. If you know, I don't know, you know it or not. That file name is web.xml file. Do you know that or forget it?
We know it. Web.xml, yes, sir.
Web.xml file. And this
Why don't
file
we
is
just go
crying.
with why don't we
Tell
just
me,
go with
tell me.
dynamic web project like we did with
Yeah.
PHP?
See, if you go with dynamic web project, in that you will not have facility of Maven. Clear? And these are the one-time activity. Clear? What I said? These are
One-time
one-time
activity.
activity. So you can do copy paste, right? But it is one time, right? Because in company, you are not going to make project again and again. Got it? So that web.xml file you can copy from
I got a
anywhere,
question.
right?
So under
Please.
my web app, I don't see the folder web INF. So is that so we're supposed to make
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You can make it. I'll tell you what is the benefit of it. Whatever you keep inside the web enough, it is private, security purpose.
Okay.
Clear? And deployment descriptor, I'm telling you, in old style of the development, we need a deployment descriptor because when you go to the company, right? I don't know, you will not always get a latest technology project. Do you think you'll get it? No, they are going to pay you money, right? And you have to do anything. Are you saying no, I cannot work in the old technology? No, I am giving many supports, right? You cannot imagine, right? 40 around 50 people, you know, I'm interacting with many people altogether, so I know what kind of project they are doing. Clear? So in my this current implementation, I am deleting the deployment descriptor. I don't need it, right? But I will introduce it later. It's okay. Let's make simple. Hello. Next important thing which you have to work with dependency. This is the challenging thing for you. What jar you need, right? Hello.
Yes.
See, when you are developing a Spring web project, right? There is a two kind of framework in the market. One is Spring framework. Second one is Spring Boot. Oh, Your question is Spring and Spring Boot. Yeah, Spring is the fundamental framework, and Spring Boot is the advanced version of Spring. But internally, Spring Boot uses reply. Spring Boot uses what?
Spring.
Spring Boot is very popular, right? And Spring Boot is based on
Spring framework.
Framework?
Spring framework. Clear? That's it. So if you want to learn Spring Boot, you should know Spring. That's it. So today in discussion, we are starting with the Spring Boot, right? Spring framework, we know little bit, right? But whatever I'm going to do with Spring, you can Spring Boot, you can do with the Spring also. Question is why Spring Boot, right? Spring Boot makes your development easier. Clear? So first of all, we'll do practice of the Spring Boot. Once you will be very, well versed in this, we can move to the Spring framework, like same program. Clear? Again, I'm telling you, whatever you can do with Spring Boot, same job you can do with Spring framework only. Yes. But
So
difference
we'll be
is
using both.
in this, you have to do minimal effort. Here you have to do a lot of effort. Clear? We have two things, right? You have car and you have bicycle with you, right? So I'm going to use car. Clear? Once you learn how to drive the car, then we'll come to the bicycle. It's okay.
Can be the
Otherwise, if you
opposite
start with
actually. You
bicycle
learn the
directly,
bicycle, then you
pardon?
learn to drive. It shouldn't be the opposite way. First you learn to ride the bicycle, and then you
Always I
learn to
do
ride
it.
the bike.
Earlier I used to use bicycle, right? But then later car. But you just learn in reverse direction. It
Okay.
would be easier for you, right? Otherwise you say, my God, I'm using bicycle, I get tired. I don't want that. Okay, please, let's go in my style. Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to do the practice of it. See, sorry. First benefit of Spring Boot is in Spring Boot you have to use minimal jar. In Spring Framework you have to use a lot of jar for the same thing. Oh, nice. Which makes jar management more easier? Reply.
Understood.
You're not.
The one
I'm
you did
saying
yesterday,
who
right?
makes.
When you do
Yeah,
Spring Boot framework, then it gives you all
yeah.
the other.
Actually,
jobs.
Spring makes your jar management easier, but Spring Boot makes your jar management more easier. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
And another benefit of Spring Boot is Spring Boot has embedded Tomcat. My God, what is it? Normally, when you develop web application, you always download Tomcat or not separately. Say yes, you know.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In Spring Boot, Tomcat is already embedded. No need to install Tomcat separately. Oh, is it? Yes. So you got the benefit of Spring Boot. Two benefit. First, you have to use minimal jar. Second, it has embedded Tomcat. Third, in Spring you have to do minimal coding. Right? Oh my God. In Spring, if you do the same job in Spring Boot, you have to do more coding, more configuration. In Spring Boot, you have to do less configuration. So how many benefits of Spring you have learned? You have to learn 10 benefits of Spring Boot at least. How many you learned today? Three. Jar
Three.
management is easier, faster development, you can say. We don't need Tomcat. Hello. I can tell you more. In Spring Boot, already we have production ready feature. If you want to monitor your application in the production, already those features are present in the Spring Boot. Oh, how many features you have learned now? Four, right? First, jar management, easier, faster development. Third, embedded Tomcat. Fourth, it has many features inbuilt into which helps you to monitor your application in production. You know, monitor means you want to see the health of it, right? What is the CPU usage? What is the memory usage, right? How many beans are there? How many threads are there, right? You can monitor all those things. So yeah, you got why I'm using Spring Boot. You can say again, Spring Boot is the advanced version of Spring framework, right? In Spring Boot makes things
Fast.
easy. Hey, Who will tell me the benefit of Spring Boot, please?
I can
Your
do, sir.
version of
Well,
Spring
at least
framework.
Please go ahead.
jar management, faster development. Tomcat is embedded on it, and it allows us to monitor our application in production because there are so many
nice.
built-in features.
You are right. And you can add one more point. It makes integration with other framework easier. If you want to integrate, right, some other framework with the Spring Boot is very easy. Another benefit is Spring Boot follow opinionated approach. I will tell you in Spring Boot, when you add the jar, automatically service will be created. It is very great feature of it. Again, I'm telling you, if you use only Spring framework, you have to configure the service. But in Spring Boot, when you add the jar, automatically service will be ready for you. What I said? I said it follows opinionated approach. Opinionated means whatever services you want, if you add the jar, automatically it will be created. Let me give the example. Suppose you want to send the email, right? And for sending email, you need service. In Spring Boot, how it works, when you add the jar in the class path of the project, automatically email service will be ready for you. Oh, nice. So whatever services you need, you remember yesterday I created a data source. You remember? Forget it.
Yes.
You remember that?
Spring Boot says don't waste your time. Why? Because you just add a jar in POM and I will make a data source for you. You directly can use it. Oh, username password. It will say I'll tell you how to configure the username
Okay.
password. Clear?
I got a
That's it.
question, sir. So it might sound stupid, but so without internet, the Spring Boot don't work, right? Because we need to.
Yeah. Of course, I told you. What is the prerequisite for Spring Boot? The Spring framework.
I mean, I'm
First of
talking
all,
about
we
the
should know
internet.
Spring framework.
So if we don't
Pardon?
have internet connection, so the dependencies, it's coming out to the internet, right? Or
Yeah, dependency has to be downloaded only once, right? Once you
okay.
download it, then you can turn off your internet.
So after you put it in your POM XML, save it, and then even if
Save
the
it.
internet don't work, it still works.
Yeah.
Not a
But
web
first time
application project.
internet should be there. First time,
Okay.
because when you add the jar, if that jar is not at your computer, right? Then
Okay.
it goes to the internet and download for you one
Okay.
time. After that, you
But
can turn off your internet.
but
Okay.
what about the JDBC connection we have? Do we require internet for that?
No.
That's for the
If your
local host.
database is on your local computer, right?
In my
Then you
local
don't need.
computer,
But
okay.
if you are using database from the cloud, right? You are using from the AWS remote database, then you know, right? General. Then you need
Yes.
internet. Clear? Yeah.
Only for the
If you have everything
dependencies,
on,
if you're doing it for the first time, you do need internet.
yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do. First time you
I'll
do.
switch off my internet and try to the JDBC.
Okay. Please. So what we have to do? We have to add a jar. Clear? So my dear friends, the first thing which you have to do is, I'm just, this jar you cannot, mug it. You have to do practice. So first thing which I'm adding over here is, can you see this? I'm going to add this parent dependency. This is very important for Spring Boot. Parent, right? This
Okay.
dependency, this is a parent project, okay? And in Spring Boot, your current project will be the child of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy this, copy and paste. Done. Spring Boot, I'm using 2.3.1, but we have 2.4.5, right? So whatever version I'm using, please use this. Okay, I don't want you should use the other version, because if you use some other version, right, you will have compatibility issue. Got it? So for this training, we are going to use 2.3.1. Make sense? Yeah.
Thanks.
After it, which version of the Java we are going to use for this? 1.8. And here I just make, remember last time we did it, fill on missing, because I don't want .xml file, right? You just make it false. Clear? If you want to get .xml file, then you can delete it. After it, we have to use dependencies. Let me tell you. This is Spring Boot parent dependency. Your project becomes child project. And I'm going to use 1.8, JDK 8. Can we use 11? Of course you can, not a problem. But Java 8 is more than enough for us. After it, we have to write this. Can you see this? People? Dependencies. This jar we need for developing Spring MVC project. Do you understand what is the purpose of Spring Boot? In Spring Boot, right? Every dependency starts with Spring Boot starter. Which module I'm going to use? Web module. This is for Spring MVC. I can write for you, right? Hey, this is for what purpose? This is
Web.
for Spring MVC. Clear? This jar is enough, right? It will download Tomcat, everything it will do. Shall I show you? If you save this much, you can imagine how many jar I have in my pocket. Can you see this? People, here I have just added a Spring Boot starter web. You can you see this? How many jar we have? You're not replying. I have
Yes.
all the Spring jar, web, beans, web MVC, AOP, context, expression, JSON dependencies, right? Oh, nice. And even Tomcat. Tomcat will be also here somewhere.
Yeah, Tomcat
Can you see
embed
this?
WebSocket 9.0.36.
Yeah. So really, it is a great or not? Spring says you just add one dependency. I will download all the required dependency for web project, Tomcat, JSON dependencies, all the Spring basic framework, right? Module.
So
Spring
this
core module.
dependency
Spring.
is same as the one we added in the parent, right?
Exactly. Whatever you added in earlier session, whatever program I had shown you till yesterday, that was normal Spring. Today we are using Spring, but it's advanced framework that is called Spring Boot. Clear? When you learn it, same program I can show you without Spring Boot. Clear?
Okay.
Then you will have little bit practice, right? Got it? Hey, if you're confused, let me know so far. People?
Hello.
So we don't need the version for Spring Boot Starter Web.
No. Actually, it will pick
From
the
the parent.
dependency as per this version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will take according. This is the parent project, right? When you add, you no need to add the version of it. Please, if you add some version, you will have a lot of issues. Okay, don't do that. After it, I'm adding this dependency. Your question is what is the use of it? This dependency, when you do some Java code change, right? Automatically, it will restart your server. So this dependency is good as long as you are in development, right? Once you move your code in the production, you can comment it. Again, I'm telling you, what is the use of this dependency? Any guess?
Use.
Why are not replying?
Sounds like that for production monitorings, because it gives you diff tool.
No. If you do some code change, right? You are making your class change, right? No need to restart your application in development, right? If I'm doing some Java code change, automatically your server will restart and changes will be reflected.
Okay.
So this is good for development, right? So as long as you are in the development, use this dependency. And
Okay.
once you make a jar and var to deploy it in production, then you can comment it. Clear or confused?
Clear.
Hello?
Clear, sir.
And in this application, I'm going to use GSP as a presentation layer. Then you have to add this dependency. This is for only GSP, okay? If you don't use GSP, no need to use it. Can you see this? This is for GSP compilation file. So if you add this file, and then your application will support GSP. If you want to use Thymeleaf, you can add Thymeleaf. Clear? And I'm going to use minimal dependency today, and I think it is more than enough. Clear? So you have to add this web. This is optional. Yes or no? It is mandatory. Any guess?
Which one?
What
Dev tools is optional, like you said.
It is optional. You need only two, right? This is for Spring Web MVC, and this is for GSP. If you don't want to use GSP, we don't need this also. One is enough, okay? But I want to use GSP. I have done with dependency. If anybody have any query regarding jar and all, please let me know.
So
Can
for
you
this,
please?
what
Yeah,
does runtime and provided do?
Okay. That's good. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, actually, when you add dependency, there are scope of it. Scope means how long this, how long this will be available to you, right? So here runtime means this dependency will be only available when you run your project, right? When you compile your project, that time it won't be there. Are you following me? Suppose I'm compiling my code, right? Or I'm running my test cases, then that time it won't be there. Provided means as long as you are doing the development, this jar is there. But when you make a war of it, bundle of it, it won't be there. Why? Because when you make a war of it, you will deploy your application on external Tomcat. Are you following me? So this is, people reply, this jar you need for development, right? So as long as you are developing your project, provided means when you make a bundle of it, when you make a war of it, this jar will not go in that war file. You got it? Again, not replying. Hello. So I can discuss this scope separately. We have scope, like compile, runtime, provided, system, right? Test. Hey, we have other scope also. Let me write it. What? By default compile. If you don't give anything, by default scope is compile. Other we have like system. We have just seen it. Test. And provided. These are the some scope in Maven. This is a separate topic. I will discuss all these things when I will teach you a life cycle of the Maven. Okay, this is clear or you got confused? Anybody have any question query regarding this POM? Reply. I have done with my
Can you
POM.
repeat
Right?
again? Can you repeat,
Yes, please.
repeat again the provided part? What was provided? What was the meaning
I'm
of
saying
provided?
provided means when you make a war of it, you know how to make a war, right click on it and you can go export as a war file. When you make a war bundle of it, then the jar won't be bundled in that war file. So this I can teach you separately. Okay, if you are, please, if you are confused, right, delete it. Okay, it's not required. Got it?
Okay.
So let me teach you separately. Otherwise, if you mix many topics all together, it will be difficult to understand. Clear? This is the part of Maven lifecycle. Clear? Your question is, if I delete it, what happened? Nothing. You can delete it if you want, right? Still it will work. Clear? It is optional. After it, you replace, go and update it. Anybody have any question, query? Not replying.
No.
Sure.
You can blindly copy, paste, paste it. Okay. Another thing which you have to learn is, in Spring, I'm just doing the setup. Jar is, POM setup is done. Second, next file which you have to make in this, that is important. In SRC main resources, you have to make a special file which name is fixed, application.property file. What file? Apply. I'm going to make a file. This is the heart of the Spring Boot project. All the input which Spring Boot will take, it will take from this file. You can either write application.property file, this application.property. TIES. Or you can give YAML extension, YAML. Can you see this? Both will work. Clear? Properties. YAML is used a lot nowadays. Do you understand what is the purpose of it? This file is used to supply, any guess? This is used to supply what? Configuration data to Spring Boot. For example, if you want to set username password for database, right? Or you want to give the port number for Tomcat, then you can write server.port. By default, your Tomcat works on which port number? 8080. But using this file, you can give the new port to it. I want my Tomcat should run on port number 7777. Got it?
Sir, can you repeat it again?
Yeah. This file name is fixed. Location and name is fixed. And file name is application.properties file. And using this file, you can customize the behavior of the Spring Boot. So I'm saying, hey, Spring Boot, when my project will run, my Tomcat should run on which port number? This port number. By default, if you remember in GSP servlet session, Tomcat runs on which port number?
8080.
8080. So you want to change the port number, or you want to keep default? It is up to you. So using this configuration server.port, you can change the port number of the Tomcat. Similarly, I will show you many examples, right? If you want to
So
connect the database.
did you just change the port number to 7777?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just changed it. That's it. Okay. After it, you have to create a main file, right? Which will start your Spring Boot project. Java file. You have to make this file inside src main Java. New. Can you see this? Class. You know how to make class, right? Here you have to make the package name. Package name you can give anything, right? It is up to you. And class file name would be anything. It doesn't matter. Application. Confused? You can give any name. Application starter. This file name you can give anything, but whatever you want to write in this project, everything is fixed, right? In this file, it should be annotated with Spring Boot application, fixed, right? And you have to write the main method. Hello. And here you have to write this line. Again, I'm telling you it is fixed. Application Spring application, please dot run. Sorry, not the Spring Boot application. You have to just write the Spring application dot run. This you have to just write blindly. This is the starting point of your Spring Boot application. In the run, first parameter should be same as class name dot class file, and second parameter you can pass this one. Done. Do you understand about this file? This file is responsible for what purpose? This is responsible to start your application. Say yes.
Yes, sir.
You are not replying. This is responsible to start your application. This is fixed. You can copy paste. Done. If you're allowed to make, can I run my application? We have nothing. That's fine. Can you run it? Right click, run as Java application. You're not replying.
Yes, yeah.
So
Let's
if
try.
my annotation is not working, that means I've done something wrong on my dependencies.
Yeah. If your jar is not properly annotated, sorry, your jar is not properly added, it's not downloaded, this annotation will not work. This annotation is saying this class file is
Because my
Spring Boot
annotation
class
is not
starter.
working right now.
Yeah. I can help you, no problem. So you got this much. What I have done, I had created a web project, then I added the dependency in the POM. Second, I created the property file, right? Third, the property file, can I delete it? Yeah, you can delete it, right? If you don't need it, right? Delete it. It's not mandatory, right? Unless and until you want to customize the feature of the Spring Boot.
But don't we need to build it, or
Nothing.
do we need to build a project in order to
No.
upload the jar, download the jar from Maven?
Only one time you have to go to the Maven and update the project. Only one time you have to do.
Yeah, Alt F5. Maybe Gandhi, you can try that.
Yeah.
Do what?
And hey, can I run it? Allow me. Right click and run as Java application. Hello. You will see, right? It will show you Spring Boot. In last, it will show your project is started on which port number. Can you see this? You got it, or you totally got confused?
I got it.
We got it.
Oh. Yeah, this
Yes,
much is clear
I got
to you,
it.
right? Okay.
Got it.
Now I'm coming to my agenda. Okay. So please, we have to use JSP and
In the wrong one?
yeah. I'm just going to configure my JSP path. Actually, you see, I have a lot of things in this. Can you see this? Slowly, I will teach you all those things. Okay, don't worry. You'll come to know all those things. You just copy, this 2 line. Okay, I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. In property file, this line. This line is saying I'm going to use JSP. So to make it easy for you people, I'm just making here slash, right? So I'm saying when I'm going to use Spring MVC, just use slash and .jsp. So this is what saying I'm going to use what? Yes,
Is
hash
that
means
file
comment,
location
right?
and extension?
I'm going to, I forget it, use JSP in this project. Got it? You are saying, hey, Spring Boot, I'm using JSP, right? Got it? Prefix slash and this. So slash means when you have only slash, it means I have to keep my JSP where? I have to keep my JSP in web app project in this folder. Can I make my JSP? Allow me. Hey, where I need to keep my JSP? Slash
Web
means
app.
in web app. If you want to keep inside some folder, you can write the folder name, right? I want to keep directly in web app. How to make JSP? New JSP. Right click on the web app, new JSP. Clear? And JSP name, I'm going to give index.jsp because index.jsp is automatically open. Nobody can say, I don't know, right? You know it, right? H1. This is Spring Boot magic. If you understand, say I understand. Otherwise, say I don't understand.
Here so far.
What was the purpose of Web-INF again? It's for security, but we're not going to use it.
Web-INF is for security purpose. If you want to keep your GSP secure, then you can, I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. Okay.
I thought we were going to put in there. That's why.
No, I'll keep it. Okay. My plan is ideally you should go into it, but I don't want to do it for today. I'll make it tomorrow or in next session. Okay. People reply. You understand? This will tell you the location of your GSP. Slash means in web-INF. If you want to keep in web-INF, tell me, I can do that. You want?
No,
Then
let's
you
do it
have to give
tomorrow.
the, otherwise you have to give the location of it. I have done. After it, what you need to do in this, you have to make a model. You know model we talked about?
Yeah.
Model.
Business logic.
Business
GSP
logic.
is done. We have to make the model, right? I'm able to make the GSP. Yes, you know? Yep. Now I'm going to go make the model. Ready? So what you can do in this, you can make a new class, right? And you can make your all the model by convention should be suffixed with controller, but you can give any name, right? What I said? Why I'm doing suffix with controller? This is the convention. Controller means this class is reply.
Model.
Controller.
Yeah,
It's a
this
model.
class is model controller, right?
Wow.
That's it. And in order to make it model, you can use this annotation controller on top of it. You said what? Hey, this class is. Tell me, controller means this is my model. This is my model class. Clear? I told you model class or controller class, both are same. Are you following me? Your question is, where is my front controller? Front controller is hidden. Hey, this front controller is where? It is hidden, right? You cannot see. Automatically Spring Boot will configure for you. Oh my God. You have to just focus on designing of JSP and this business logic. Who will configure the front controller for you? Internally?
Spring container.
Spring Boot.
Spring Boot. Okay.
Spring Boot.
Everything will run inside the Spring container, right? So you would say, and again, I have designed my GSP and I have designed my model. Where is my front controller? Answer is, it will be automatically configured by Spring Boot project. Done? After it,
How does it know? How does it
it
know
is
to
it is
connect?
it is internal of it, right? No need to know, right? Are you following me? That's why I'm using Spring
Before
Boot.
we
Spring
used to go
Boot,
with Servlet, we were able to connect everything, but now I see.
exactly. You know, in Servlet, if you want to use Servlet, then if you remember, you have to configure Servlet either in deployment descriptor or you can use a notation at web servlet. Here, no need to do anything. Spring will take care of it. Spring Boot will take care of it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Oh. After it, here you can define a method, public, and this method should return a string. And method name you can give anything, and here you can use a special mapping, get mapping. Remember, you map servlet, similar to that. And here I'm saying when I type slash, okay, what? Slash, then you call the foo method and return a file name, view name that is called GSP file name. index.jsp. Can you see this? Hello. So here I am giving two mapping. Okay. Either you can type slash or you can type pa. Then what happened? People. Method name could be anything. Sure. People try to understand. When you type URL pattern slash, then that request will come to the foo and foo will return index. And when foo will return index, it will be resolved at index.jsp. Are you following me? Again, I'm telling you.
Yes.
When you are typing pa in the URL, it will come to the show and it will return which file? Index.jsp.
Index.
Now your question is, in this, why we are appending JSP.jsp? Already we wrote it. Can you see this? I said, whatever view I am returning in my controller, what you have to append? .jsp,
JSP.
right? And what is the prefix? Prefix means it's saying when you are returning JSP, you just append slash. Slash means it will go to the web app folder. Make sense? That's it. So do you understand how this JSP you can access? Can I run it and show you? Hello? I'm running my project.
Yes.
You can come to the main file, run it. And then how you can access your JSP? You have to just type the URL pattern, either slash or pa. Your JSP will come. So can I come to the browser? Allow me. How I can type it? We're not replying.
Yes.
How can I type it? Localhost. Port number is 777. I forget.
Yeah.
Port number is 777. And after
Yes.
it, you can type the URL
777.
pattern. If you type pa, then what should come?
Show method.
Welcome to Spring Rig. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. If you type pa or if you don't type anything, can you see this? Automatically it will come, because let me show you the flow of it, right? So, my dear friends, when you are typing it, right, how things are happening. You are typing this URL in the browser. Yeah. When you type this URL in the browser, your request will go to the Tomcat server on port number 77. Say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You people reply. When you type something, it will go to the server, right? And your server is listening on which port number?
777.
777. When your request will come over here, then first of all, as per the rule, first of all, it will reach to the server. And on server, what we have? We have dispatcher servlet. Yes or no?
Yes.
So first of all, your request goes to server, then it goes to dispatcher servlet. Got it? And you are giving pa, right? Dispatcher servlet will forward your request to which component? Controller. Annotated with the controller annotation. Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm telling you, when you are typing 77 pa, it goes to the dispatcher servlet, then controller. In controller, what mapping we have? Can you see this, my dear friends? If your URL pattern is ending with pa, then which method has to call? Show method. Yeah, when you go to the show method, eventually the show method, if you write some logic, it can execute it. Eventually it is returning what? It is returning the view. What will be your next JSP, right? So what formula is saying? Formula, we have a formula for it. Formula is saying whatever index string we are returning from this method, how you have to prefix and suffix. It's saying prefix with slash and suffix with .jsp. So eventually it will be converted into what? Any guess? Return value is index. It is prefixed with slash and suffix with .jsp. So which page will be rendered eventually?
Index.jsp.
Index.jsp. That's it. I hope you understand the flow. This is. Hello. I'm going to make this page beautiful. You know how to make this page beautiful? You can use
HTML, CSS,
HTML,
Bootstrap.
CSS,
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap. So you got the flow or you got confused? When I'm typing this URL pattern, your request goes to the dispatcher server, then dispatcher servlet, then controller, and eventually in controller, whatever string you are returning, it is going to be converted into JSP, and JSP eventually show you the response in the browser.
The return index is
Yeah.
actually looking at the app controller.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's showing.
That is the whole flow. Let me design something. Okay, I'm going to design a login page for you. What I need to do? See, I have to do get mapping, and here I can write login. Clear? Hello. Method name you can change, login page, right? And here, what should be your JSP name? You can decide. You want to,
Login.jsp or
yeah,
login.
I'm doing login.jsp. This name can be same. You can change it. I'm just saying C login, right? Yeah. So if you allow to me, I can make a JSP file. See, when I'm doing code change, automatically my server is restarting. It is a magic of what? This is just magic of this jar file.
Jar file.
Thank you to my jar. And I'm making my JSP file. That is C login.jsp, right? If you want to make it the beautiful, right? Do you know Bootstrap? I'm going to use it. I'm fan of Bootstrap.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to you see my copy paste style, and you can do the same thing. No need to learn Bootstrap separately. The way I'm doing, you do it. So basically, you can start with the hello world of the Bootstrap, or table, anything in copy. Can you see this? Hey, if you want to use Bootstrap, Bootstrap is saying in the head, copy all this script to make it beautiful in the head. Allow me. If you want to use HTML5, you can copy everything body and top. Hey, by doing copy paste, what happened? I am using Bootstrap framework. Bootstrap is a framework of JavaScript and jQuery, which makes your page very fancy. You are not replying. I just go to this page, and I just copy everything from top and just pasting it. You got confused, or you understand this much?
Clear so far.
Yes, we do
Yeah,
understand.
yes, sir, got it.
After it, in HTML5 we have a header tag. In header tag, this is nothing. It's just semantic tags, which gives you the meaning. I'm designing header, so you can use style, right? Style is for inline CSS. You can say header of the height would be 30 px, and I want to give some background color. What color you want to give? It is up to you, right? I'm giving maroon, right? Can I run this? In order to call this page, what I need to do? I need to type /login in my browser. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Type it and see. Here you have maroon. If you want to change the color, what do you have to do? Right click on it, inspect it. Do you know this technique? After it, click on it, and you can make a color of your choice. Can you see this? Hello?
Out of curiosity, sir, does it change the source code in my application or
No,
just
no,
on
no,
the
no, no.
presentation?
It is just setting on front end, right?
Okay.
After it, you copy this and go and change in your page. Finally, can you see this? Done. If you refresh it, same color will come.
Got
You
it.
got it, or you got confused?
Oh, got it.
Got it.
Got it. After it, if you want to put some photo image, you can do it. I have images in my previous project. Allow me. Can you see this? I have this much image. I'm going to copy, I don't know. Or I can take it from my computer. Please allow me. So we have some, photos. You can take all these photos. I'm just taking this photo, right, for today. How to put a photo? You can, what you can do? Simple.
Image tag.
You can in my enough. I'm just making my img folder. You can give any name to it, doesn't matter, right? Just putting it. If you want to put this photo below the header, what you need to do, you can use the image object, right? I'm saying object. Then src, you can give the path. What path is? img/
Name of the
hello.
photo.
Name is very complex. You can copy paste, right? Dot jpg. You want to see how it looks like? Refresh it. Can you see this? I'm going to change the height of it. It's looking very bigger, right? You know how to change the height? Height.
Sir.
I want to use only 200 px. Clear? See, this photo is coming, leftmost side. I want to make it center, right? First of all, I'm just making this height 100 to make it beautiful. Clear? And I'm just putting how many images? Four times. Can you see this? Yep. Now you want to make it in middle. In Bootstrap, right? There is a class file. Do you know class file? We have division tag, and in division tag, there is a CSS. You can use class equals to container. What is the benefit of it? People, if you use container over here, you know what it does? It will align all the content in between in the middle. Let me show you. Can you see this? Hello? Earlier, you're not replying.
Exactly in
You
the
see
middle.
this? Now it came in the
Yes.
middle. If you remove it, then everything will come leftmost side. Okay? So it makes your page beautiful. I hope you understand the meaning of division and this class to make it in center, right? Done. Got it? Hello? I have
Yes.
to make a you have to make a login page. So in Bootstrap, how you can make it, let me do it quickly. Okay, this is last for today. I think we are late. What you can do in the division tag, you want to make a login page. You can use HR. You know how the HR? It will draw horizontal line over here. After it, you can make a form, right? There is a division tag, and here you can use a class, and in class you have form group. Okay, form group is basically used to group element all together. I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. Okay, then you can use label. Label to write
Yes.
something like username. Let's see how it looks like after this much. You see, and here you can use a text field. I hope it has been done already, right? Type equals to box and name equals to username. When you do this, it will look very bad. Let's see. You want to make it beautiful? If you want to make this beautiful, this Bootstrap says I have CSS for you. Okay, you can use a CSS that is called class equals to form control. Yeah, why I'm using the CSS? To make it beautiful. Let's try. Can you see this now? Hello? Magic.
Yes.
And if you want to, actually it is looking ugly because it is coming across whole area. So here you can define the size of it, right? You can say style. Let's make a 50%. 50% of its parent, right? So what happened? No, it's not working in this. Give me a second. This is not working. You just apply this, this style equals to 50% on this input field. So this, it's not working. Give me a second. Actually, I'm sorry. I forget to write width, right? BTH. Hey, you understand what mistake I'm doing? I forget to put the attribute of it, right? I think it should work on this also, but it's okay. You got this much or confused?
So if you say
Similarly,
form
if you
control,
want
it
to,
knows to pick up the CSS.
yeah, CSS. Okay, here I'm making
So
another
sir,
thing.
over here, okay, so it's like CSS. What is the difference between rather than like a 50%, we can use a margin from right and margin from the left.
Yeah, you can do that. You can use margin also, right?
Yes.
But margin is not a choice, because when your screen changes, right, margin will not work properly.
Oh, okay.
But width will work as per the screen size. So we should always give this width. That's in percentage. That's always better.
Oh,
So
okay. Thank you.
I have my username and password. Clear? Now you want to keep some button. Yeah. So use form group. And for button, if you don't remember the syntax, where you can look into it on the website. I know I'm making a little bit fast, but here you see I have button with many color, right? I want to use this button. You confused? No. Can you see this? Button type equals to button, and this is the CSS primary. If you say danger, it will be red color. If you say
Success.
success, it will be green. If you say warning, it would be
Yeah.
Some other color, body
Yellow.
color. So
Orange.
here I want to write here login or sign in. Sign in, right? And then I want you, whatever I have done today in session, you just go and do yourself. Got it? So tomorrow what I'm going to do? Tomorrow, when you click on it, username, password, it will go to the controller and you have, it will validate your username, password is correct or not. Then later we'll connect with database. I hope you understand my agenda. Yep. So what you need to do today, whatever I have done, you have to do step by step. I think this is enough for today. What do you say?